Hello and welcome to the Elevated Coach Challenge. I am so excited that you are here. This has been a desire of mine. I had like a lot of ideas about how this would run, what I would do, and just trying to bring it all together and into fruition was something that I just kind of have been like trying to bring together, and to see it just in manifestation come to full form. It's been so beautiful to witness. So I'm just so honored and excited that you're here and that you're joining me. Today, we're going to be talking all about anchoring in your confidence, which is the first step to really becoming that client magnet, that coach that stands out, and that coach that also sells out. So I'm really excited to dive in now. Before we do, I want to talk a little bit about what to expect with this challenge. So each day, you're going to receive an email with a challenge for the day, where I'm going to share a special life-changing transformational modality that you can dive into and utilize personally and experience for yourself firsthand, but also start to consider and ponder how you can begin to weave it into the work that you do as a coach. What I'm going to challenge you to do is two things. I'm going to challenge you to come with an open mind and allow yourself to receive. This may be a totally new concept for you and feel really out there, or this may be something you heard before. Either way, open your mind up to the fact that each time we hear something new, or each time we learn something new, it allows us to continue to grow and expand our thoughts, our mind, and ultimately our success, okay? So make sure you're coming with an open mind. With that said, also make sure that you're clearing away any distractions that may come up. I know even for me, as I'm creating and recording this, I let my daughters know, like, hey, I really need to hone in and focus, because when we try to multitask, research actually says that we operate at a level of like an 8-year-old. And so I want you to imagine an 8-year-old trying to take this information in and how much they're going to be willing to apply it or use it. It doesn't become practical for you. And for me, one of the things that I'm really passionate about is not just talking and sharing all the things that I've learned or whatever, but I want to give you tools that you can actually weave into your business so that you can sell out your offers and really stand out as the coach that you're called to be, okay? And I think that this is really important, and part of that is going to require you to really commit to really showing up fully over the next couple of days. As we're here, we chat and share all of these things, okay? Sorry that my face is probably blocking the sign that says all about it. Also, super good news for those that signed up. When you sign up for joining us inside the Elevate Method certification program, you will actually receive a super special bonus of a free human design reading, okay? So there's a lot of bonuses, and we'll talk a lot about that as we go through the program and how amazing the Elevate Method certification program is. But one of the things that I really wanted to honor is those that know when they're ready to take that next step, and those that are really ready to say yes to that next level, by giving a special bonus when you sign up by the end of day 3, okay? So this 3-day challenge is essentially going to give you a little dose, an amazing dose, and an inkling of what it's like to come through the Elevate Method certification program. There are so many different modalities that we learn about, and so many different ways that you can weave them into your life personally and use them with your clients. And this is what I want you to experience firsthand. I want you to experience some of these wins, some of these shifts that get to take place just here and now, so that you can see what's available for you when you say yes to that next step. So I want you to be open and ready. Get rid of all distractions. I want you to be really focused, because today we're going to be talking about some powerful stuff. And I'm really, really excited to dive in. So if we're not already connected, connect with me on Instagram at Nicolia Williams and let people know that you have joined this challenge, right? There may be someone else who wants to jump on, and there's still time to definitely join. So definitely make sure we connect on Instagram. All right, so you are here because you desire to stand out as a highly sought after coach. And if that is the case, you're in the right place. If you're one of those people that's like, I've been trying all of the things and I just want to find the support that really makes a difference. I really want to invest in my growth and my expansion so I can show up as the coach that I desire to be and that I know I'm called to be. You're in the right place. Okay, you're in the right place if you're ready to facilitate that lasting transformation that goes much deeper, lasts longer, and happens quicker. That's confirmation that you're in the right place as well. You're not in the right place if for you, you're like, I don't need to worry about me. I just need to focus on how can I make this money, right? I don't need to make any shifts to me. I just ready to hurry up and get into my next level, right? In order to call in the right dream, amazing, loving clients, you also have to be what you would be wanting in a client. You have to be open and ready to receive in the same way we would expect that for our clients as well. So that's something to consider as you're here. You're not in the right place if you're not willing to break the patterns of keeping you where you are, right? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result, right? If you want something different, you have to do something different. And so if you're still here, if you're still listening to me talk, that means you're choosing to be intentional about going all in for your vision and all in for your dreams. And I'm just so honored to be here and to be able to support you. It's one thing to talk about your vision and your dreams. It's something totally different to actually show up for it. I think I was reading, oh man, I can't remember who it was. I was reading a book recently that said, on average, only about 8% of people actually have goals with a strategy and a plan. And the rest are kind of just going about it all willy-nilly. I don't want that for you. And so that's why I'm so glad that you're still here, because you're going to see how powerful you truly can be. And you're going to see that all you have to do is tap into that power. And I'm really excited because we're going to be talking all about that today. So during our challenge, you're going to learn some of the most life-changing modalities that you can weave into your life, into your business, and to create that success that you desire and deserve. And these things are life-changing. The modalities that I'm teaching you about specifically today is anchoring, and that's something I use every single day. Tomorrow, we'll be talking all about tapping. That is something that is in my morning routine. It is a non-negotiable. Like, there are so many, I could go on and on and on. In my manual, it's 300 pages, and there's modalities galore of things that my clients get to access to really facilitate this transformation with their clients. And these modalities are so amazing. And I'm gonna share a little bit about my journey and what kind of got me here. So hi, I'm Dr. Nicolia. For those that are new to me, I am a Christian, but I also kind of love the woo space in that I love the science, I love the mind, I love the power of mastering our mind. I'm a girl mom, two-time girl mom, and then I also have a stepdaughter. I'm actually divorced, but my stepdaughter and I are very close. So super close, so all girls. I am a counselor turned coach. So I started off in the counseling realm. I did that for years. And honestly, I felt like there was a lot of red tape in what it was that I was trying to do, what I was trying to have happen, what I was trying to get accomplished. And so I started to tiptoe around how I could share my skill set and my passion and help other people, but still kind of be in the same realm of coaching. And I always say, for me, my business was birthed by accident. I decided I wanted to write a book. No one could filter what I wanted to write in a book. So I decided I wanted to write this book, decided to go forward and write the book. And then from there, I was able to hit best-selling author. I've since been able to publish 10 best-selling books in a manual and 2 journals and 2 planners, which has been a blessing. But I published this book, became best-selling author, and then people started to come to me about writing books. I started to coach around that, realized I love coaching, started to really learn about the coaching space, and then I just jumped in head first and have loved it so much. For me, I've tried to do everything, right? I've tried every single thing. I'm a very resourceful person, so I've Googled, I've YouTubed, I've taken master classes galore. At one point, I remember I created a Google Doc with all the classes that I've ever invested in and programs and challenges and all the things, and it was like close to 100. So when I say I've tried all the things, I've tried all the things, okay? Trying to piecemeal my way to success. And this is why I'm so passionate about what I do as a coach, because I literally let my footprints become someone else's blueprint so they can cut that trial and error run in half. They don't have to try to piecemeal their way to success either. I'm also a lifelong learner. So I love learning. I'm constantly looking for ways to learn. I recently got certified in the law of attraction and been learning all about that and just the laws of the universe in general. And love it, love learning. I love learning because I feel like learning is a gift, because the more you learn, the more you actually get to give back and give to other people. And so I merge all of my things and pieces and parts to me and really support my clients on a deep level. And I really enjoy it. So I wanted to share a little bit about who I was for those that are new to me in this challenge, so that you know a little bit more about me and why I'm passionate about bringing this information forth to you today. So the truth is, I fully believe in the power of mindset. But if I can be really honest with you, it wasn't always that way. To me, I actually felt like mindset was a hoax. I felt like it was overrated. I felt like it was like a waste of time. But I got to a point where I had tried all the systems, all the strategy, all the support, and all the hustle. I was a hustler. If you looked up the definition hustler, you were going to find my name in there. Like, I worked a full-time job. I worked a part-time job. I'm raising 2 kids. I was starting my business. I was writing books. I was volunteering. I was doing all of these things. I hustled because I felt like the harder I hustled, the easier things would be, the more money I would call in, the simpler things would be, the more it would make sense, the more success I would have, the more clients I would have. And what ended up happening is, you can probably guess it, is I burned out. I exhausted myself. I was ready to throw in that proverbial towel because I wasn't getting any closer to where it was that I needed to be, right? I just was burning the candle at both ends. And needless to say, it was exhausting. And sadly, I learned that the hard way. And here's what the biggest takeaway from that season for me was, you could have all the systems, all the strategies, and all the support in the world, but if your mind isn't aligned, none of that's going to matter. None of that matters in the grand scheme of things. And so I had to release this process, or this thought, or this belief that hustle was the only way to success, because society sells us this idea that the harder you work, the more you make. Early bird gets the worm. You hear quotes like that. But I had to step away from it, because what I realized is, I had all the same systems, all the same strategies, and all the same support as all these coaches that I was seeing that were flourishing. But the only difference was my mind. Because I didn't necessarily believe I was worthy of success. I didn't really believe I was worthy of creating transformations with my clients. I didn't believe that I could make an impact with my clients, or that I should sell my programs or my courses or my books. And because of that, it impacted the way I actually showed up. And I know that a lot of aspiring coaches, and even established coaches, actually struggle with that. And this is why I've created this challenge, because I don't want that to be a struggle. I want that to be a thing of your past. So what I want to dive in and chat about today is, we are going to be talking all about NLP, because I shared my own journey of realizing that I needed to release the hustle, the force, the desperation, all of that negative, that pent up energy that didn't get me anywhere. I needed to release that in order to make room for me to develop a healthy mindset to receive the things that I wanted to receive in my life. And so NLP was the very tool that helped me do that. So NLP stands for neuro linguistic programming. And on the next slide, I'll kind of break down what it is, but essentially it's the user's manual of the mind. And NLP is a pseudo-scientific approach to communication, personal development, and psychotherapy. And it was created by John Grinder and Richard Bandler. And the two of them combined in the 1970s came up with how we utilize our mind. And it is so freaking powerful. You'll never think about your mind the same. It's like a supercomputer that is freaking fantastic. So like I mentioned, it's a user's manual for the mind, and it's the way we use basic language of our mind to consistently achieve the results that we desire to call into our life, okay? So neuro is our nervous system, our mind, which we use the world to experience through our senses. So this is visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory, and gustatory, okay? Linguistic is the language or other ways that we communicate and that we use to store our experiences and give them meaning, okay? So you have an experience, and now you've created a picture of that experience, or you've created a sound of that experience, or a feeling, or an internal dialogue. We all store different things in our mind a certain way. Even if I say right now, blue elephant, you're thinking of you're either going to think of the word blue elephant, maybe, or if you're like most people, you're actually thinking of the picture of you're picturing a blue elephant. We're storing it, okay? Then we have programming. So discovering and using the programs, patterns, and strategies we run in our mind, making shifts to achieve our goals. So this is the programming that's created around it. So here is a little like NLP model, and I'm sorry that it's a little blurry. So basically with this NLP model, at any given point, there's all of these things happening around us, and we are constantly probably overstimulated, but we are taking in about 126 bits of information at any given point. So you see it goes from right here, 2 million bits coming in. And then what happens is we generalize, delete, or distort the information that's coming in, okay? So we might generalize it based on like a past experience, something that's familiar. We might delete it and say, that's not really important, I'll throw it out. Or we distort it to align with a belief that we already have. And then we take in that 126 bits, and then we create that internal representation, which is that picture, that sound, or that feeling that we have around it, which determines our state, meaning like how we feel, which determines our physiology, which determines what we put out, okay? This is why Two people can have the exact same experience, but interpret it totally different because they've deleted, distorted, or generalized it totally different. They've created an internal representation that may be different from one another. They then have a state that's a little bit different, and then that determines the physiology, and then that determines the output. This is why they say what you see, like your life is actually a reflection of your mind. Think about it. For example, we take in information, right, through our taste, through our touch, through what we hear, what we see, and what we smell. So let me think of a good example. Let's say that you're driving to work. You wake up out of bed and you're like, all right, I'm having a bad day. I woke up on the wrong side of bed. I'm pissed. I hate the world. I hate my job. I hate whatever. And you drive to work. And as you're driving, someone cuts you off. And then now you're mad. You're like flicking them off. Maybe you're yelling, you're cussing, you're screaming, you're mad, and you're bitter. You're like, oh, what was me? I never can get to work on time. People are always cutting me off. You're frustrated. Then you get to work and you see a coworker look at you funny. You're like, I never liked her anyway. She's probably talking about me. And now you're starting to generalize. You're starting to generalize based on these experiences. And then your day, basically, you've created in your head that your day is bad, that you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. And every experience you're having is reconfirming it, right? And you're like, oh, well, it's me. And I had the worst luck. That was me. I would always say, like, I'm a realist, not a pessimist, but I was a pessimist, right? Because of my experiences. But let's say the same thing happens. You wake up on the wrong side of the bed and you're like, you know what? I slept funny. I'm going to give myself a little bit of time to move through my morning slower. I'll drink my coffee very mindfully, take a couple deep breaths. Things are going to be okay. Things are always working in my favor. Things are always working out for my good. Drink your coffee, you get in the car, same person cuts you off, and you're like, you know what? I hope they're okay. I wonder if they're in a rush. I hope they get to work safely without anything bad happening. Maybe their wife's having in labor and they're rushing to the hospital. And then you get to work and your coworker kind of looks at you funny and you're like, hey, Sharon, is everything okay? You seem mad. And she tells you that her husband left her last night and she's so sad and whatever. And now you get to process and build this relationship with her, right? Two people, two situations, but it's based on how we've brought in that information and what we believe about it, how we generalized it, okay? The internal representation that we made around it of the feeling of anger or the feeling of being like, it's okay, I can slow down, the feeling of being at peace, right? The state that we're in and the physiology, and then that determines our actions, that determines what we put out. Your mind is the most powerful tool, and I promise you, when you make those shifts with your mind, you make an instant shift in your life as well. It is so profound and so freaking powerful. I cannot stress that enough. So for me, I talked to you guys about like believing that mindset is everything. But before I believed that, I was making one huge mistake that was costing me money, time, and energy. And I see this a lot as I talk to new coaches that are coming into my certification program. And if you can guess, that mistake was thinking that mindset was a hoax. I felt like, I don't know if any of you do like HIIT. I did a lot of like HIIT workouts, and I would do like insanity and really, really upbeat workouts. And I remember just getting like tired, and I was hurting my knee, and I just had like a couple problems. I thought I broke my toe at one point. And so I was like, I'm going to start doing yoga as recommended by my doctor. And I was feeling like I was being tortured. I'm like, man, you're going to make me do yoga. This is awful. Like, I'm not sweating. I don't feel like I'm burning anything. It felt like a waste of time. That's what I felt like with mindset. Because every time my coach would say, okay, well, I want you to just reflect on what it is you're feeling. I'm like, I don't have time to reflect. I need to make 3 posts. Like, I felt like mindset was a hoax and that I needed to make my way to get there and get it done. Like, I didn't have time to slow down for mindset. But because I didn't slow down for mindset, I wasn't making the momentum I needed with this struggle, with the hustle, with the force, with the strategy. Okay. And until I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I have nothing left to lose but to try mindset. And it blew my mind away as I began to study NLP. So essentially how your mind works is we have our conscious mind and we have our analytical mind, which is right in the middle, which some people will call a BS meter or a critical faculty. And then we have a subconscious mind. So your subconscious mind is where that lasting transformation and change really takes place. If you want something to actually happen, you got to do it on a subconscious level. The problem is we are taught how to use our conscious mind. So we are constantly efforting and forcing our way to make things happen. Our subconscious mind, on the other hand, is so powerful, it just moves for you. It's just like a robot. Whatever your subconscious mind holds is what you are actually drawn towards, is actually what you move towards. And so this is why you'll find a lot of people, when they reprogram their mind and they're like, I'm confident, they're literally freaking confident because they've reprogrammed their mind to align with. This is why hypnosis is really powerful. Tapping is powerful. Anchoring is powerful. Ton of NLP concepts, time techniques, all of that stuff is powerful because it works with you on a subconscious level. Versus on a conscious level, what I see, for example, is I see a lot of people who are like, I have affirmations on my mirror. And I do too. Nothing wrong with affirmations. But it takes thousands of repetitions of an affirmation before it sinks in. Because what happens is every time you say, I am $1 million coach, and you're like, I've only made $27, your BS meter, your analytical mind, or your critical faculty bumps against you and says, girl, you ain't made no money. You are not, successful. You are not $1 million coach. You are not whatever. And it's constantly bumping against you. But when you do work on the subconscious level, you are circumventing, moving beyond that analytical mind to master the power of your mind and really, really, really utilize it. And this is why when I say these modalities create transformation quicker, go deeper, and last longer, I mean it. I mean it, because you're not trying to force your way through it. You don't have to do millions of repetitions. The change happens like this. And that's what I really, really love about it. But most of us, again, don't know how to operate when a subconscious, we don't know how to access or utilize or maximize the power of our subconscious mind, because whatever you give your subconscious mind, your subconscious mind always wants you to be right. It's not ever going to make you out to be a liar. So when you embed things on your subconscious mind, it is going to speed to try to figure out how to get there to make what you said be valid. Okay. Versus the conscious mind, you're always going to have to exhaust yourself and put a lot of effort and a lot of force and a lot of, I don't know, like dedication, not even dedication, but like desperation. That's the word I'm looking for, desperation to actually make it happen, versus if you maximize the power of your subconscious mind. So when you prioritize and take care of your mind, you can show up as the coach you're called to be. You can show up and give value like never before. When I started to study NLP and read this into the work that I did, one, I saw massive transformations in my own life and in my clients' lives. But I think the biggest impact for me was when people started to notice the difference in me. They were like, man, this is crazy. Like I remember my oldest daughter just being like, Mom, like your whole perspective is different. And I'm so cognizant about my thoughts and my words and my routines and my energy and all of that, because I know the impact of it. And I'm teaching them, both of my girls, that at such a young age, because I want them to see how powerful it is. And I'll teach anyone who's willing and ready to listen. Hence why I'm in front of you today. And so today, that's what we're going to really be talking about. And really over the entire challenge is we're going to be talking about mindset and the power of really taking care of your mindset and maximizing it so that you can show up like you never have before. So today, what we're going to talk about is one of my favorite modalities, which is anchoring. So anchoring is basically, have you ever wanted to feel a state like you want to feel confident, or you want to feel abundant, or you want to feel happy, or whatever? You can feel that state right here, right now. And that's what I love about anchoring. Anchoring is based on the stimulus response effect by Pavlov, which I learned a lot about, the dog salivating and stuff like that when I was getting my psychology degree. But anchoring is a powerful thing. And some of us have anchors that we're not even aware exist. So have you ever played a song and you can instantly go back to a time and date in your life, and you remember when that song was played, maybe what you had on, where you were at in the car, how old you were, or something like that? That's an example of a auditory anchor. We are going to be creating what I call, or what's known as a resource anchor in the NLP space. And we're going to be creating that. And we're going to even talk about ways to effectively leverage and use that. We're going to be creating one on confidence, because for me, I believe that confidence is one of the strongest skills you need as a coach to really show up, because there is a lot of overwhelm in this space. You can feel like there's a lot of coaches that are doing things right. You can question what you're doing. You can wonder if you can really make transformation. You can wonder why people would want to buy for you. And all of these limiting beliefs, as they stir up, can start to knock your confidence. And I know for me, the way that this showed up is that I started to feel like an imposter, even though I had certifications, even though I had degrees, even though I've had clients. I would start to feel like I wasn't qualified. Maybe I shouldn't be here. Someone would call me out and realize I'm really a fraud and I don't know what I'm doing. And it slowly knocked my confidence down. And what ended up happening is I stopped showing up online. I stopped sharing what it was that I had to offer for fear of what people would think. I stopped selling because I didn't want people to think that I was sleazy or scammy with selling. I stopped taking, I would stop posting about one-on-ones. And, I remember one time a lady asked me if she could sign up for a one-on-one with me. And I was like, oh, no, I don't do one-on-ones anymore. I did do one-on-ones at that time. But I just was so scared to get on the phone with her for the chance that I could perform wrong, and that she would not want to ever work with me or expose me as a fraud coach or whatever, but it knocked my confidence down. And I know many of you can relate to that. So confidence is the feeling of self-assurance arising from your own appreciation of your values, of your abilities, of your qualities, of amazing skills that you have. But many of us as women, we're taught to be humble. And because we're taught to be humble, we don't want to necessarily come off as cocky. So we avoid being confident when confident is safe. Confidence is something that you should exude. Confidence sets the tone for what's available for other women. Confidence sets the tone for you to change your energy and really magnetize and draw amazing clients to you. And so this is why I wanted to tap on confidence, because we don't realize the value that confidence can really bring. And it's better than just standing in Superwoman pose. Although I do that every morning and recite affirmations with my daughters, I want you to really feel that confidence through your body so that when you show up as a speaker, when you show up as a healer, when you show up as that coach, you really exude that confidence and people just know that what you have to bring is life-changing, because it is. It ultimately is. So basically the way anchoring works is it's RACE is the little acronym, but you recall a past or vivid experience, you anchor it at its peak, you change the person's state, and then you evoke that state using the anchor. Don't worry, all of that will make sense in a moment, but that is essentially the steps or the basics of an anchor. Recalling the state that you want to tap into, anchoring that state when you're feeling really heightened and at that peak of that state, and then you're changing your physiology and the way you're feeling, and then you continue to evoke that state more and more so that you can tap into that anchor all the time. So the key things to creating anchors that are really powerful is timing of the anchor. And don't worry, I'm going to walk you through all of it. I just always like to give the history and why it works and the power behind it, the uniqueness of the stimulus. So back in the olden days, when people first learned about anchoring, not in the olden days, I mean, it couldn't have been too long ago, maybe 100 years ago, but a while ago, when people use anchoring, they would anchor on a shirt, which sounds great. But then when you wash the shirt and you don't have the shirt, you can't access that anchor. You can't access that feeling that you need to anchor. So this is why the uniqueness of the stimulus is really, really powerful. For me, I anchor on knuckles. I've anchored on an ear before, or for a client. I don't have any anchors on my ear, but I have anchors on all of my knuckles. You can anchor pretty much anywhere, but you want to make it unique and not a place that you're touching all the time. So like if you, I don't know, if you rub your thumbs together, you don't want your anchor to be on your thumb because you may not want to access it when you're rubbing it, okay? The replication, meaning how often you're replicating it, as well as the number of times that you're applying it, because the more you use and access the anchor, the stronger the intensity gets. And then the physiology, really getting into the breathing and that state when you're anchoring. And don't worry, again, I'm going to walk you through every single part of this anchor to make it make sense, okay? And it's super simple and super quick, but so powerful. I'm really excited. All right, so let's go ahead and create your anchor. We're going to create an anchor for confidence. And what I would recommend is using one of your knuckles. If you already have anchors on your knuckles, you can use your your earlobe. You can use a collarbone. Most people don't have anchors, so you probably don't, but I'm going to use my pinky because I already have my confidence anchor on my pinky. I have my abundance anchor here and a couple other anchors. So for me, I'm going to use my pinky knuckle, okay? You could use your first one because this is your first time creating an anchor. It may be easy to use your pointer finger. What I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to just go ahead and ground yourself. Take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out. And I want you to think about confidence and what confidence means to you. And as you think about confidence, I want you to think about what it would feel like to be a confident coach, what it would feel like to show up as a confident coach, how your life would change if you gave yourself permission to have confidence. Now, I want you to think about a time that you felt really confident. Can you remember a time when you felt totally confident? Can you remember a specific time that you felt totally confident? As you go back to that time now, go back to that time, float down into your body, see what you saw, hear what you heard, and really feel the feelings of feeling totally confident. And as you feel that, I want you to take your finger and I want you to hold on your knuckle. and I'll let you know when to release. Feeling all the feelings of confidence. See what you saw, hear what you heard, and feel all the feelings of confidence. And release. Take a deep breath and check in with yourself. Now I want you to close your eyes again, and I want you to just tap that finger, tap that anchor right there. And I want you to notice how your body begins to change. I want you to notice how your body begins to light up. I want you to notice how your body gets excited with that confidence that you get to exude. And the amazing thing that I love about this is that you can access this anchor whenever. Now, a question that I often get is, what if there was not really a time that I can recall when I felt confident? Obviously, you're going to get the greatest response when you can recall a time that you specifically felt confident. Now, if you can't think of a time that you specifically felt confident, you can think of an example of a time that you want to feel confident and really elicit a state that you imagine, a state that you visualize. It's more ideal for you to do one that you've already felt. And it could be simple. It could be like you were a little kid and you felt confident and you jumped off your bed and you thought you were a Superman or whatever. Like it can be something as small as that, but that is going to be so powerful, okay? And one of the things that I like to do, especially since I had a confidence, and I already have a confidence anchor, is while you guys were doing that, I got into that physiology and into that state and really held on to that feeling of confidence because I wanted to feel into that with you to just make it that much more powerful, okay? So this is really amazing because now with this anchor, anytime you need to feel confident, you can just tap it. I actually tapped mine prior to creating the session for you so that I could show up as a confident coach, as a confident teacher to be able to share this information with you because I know it's powerful and I didn't want any distractions or any limiting beliefs in the way. And this anchor has really held me to it, which I absolutely love. Now, some ways to actually leverage your anchor is to use it regularly. So when you, let's say that you are getting ready to, or let's say you just got off a call with a client and they gave you a crazy, amazing testimonial and you feel confident. Tap your anchor, hold it down, remind yourself you're confident. I know for me, one of my dream cars is a Tesla. And so I have an abundance anchor here. Every time I drive by a Tesla, I just hold it. So for you, it may be that you see someone that exudes confidence and you tap your anchor. This, again, that replication is strengthening that intensity and really building that anchor up so that anytime you need to access confidence, you get to access confidence. It's there and available for you. So that is what I have for day one. I'm really, really, really excited that you guys joined me today and so excited for you building your own confidence anchor. I'm really excited for what's coming tomorrow. So make sure that you set some time aside in your schedule, remove all distractions so that you're prepared and ready for tomorrow. And my task for you tonight or today, depending upon what time you're watching this, is to take time to think about ways that you can tap into this confidence anchor. And maybe that you make a new meal and that you tap into it, you're confident about this meal and the impact that it has. And maybe that you make a call or reach out to a client or DM someone and you tap into that confidence anchor. Maybe you decide to be brave enough to go live and you tap into that confidence anchor. But I want you to continue to start to work on strengthening this confidence anchor as much as possible, because this is going to be an amazing resource and tool for you to be able to leverage, okay? So other than that, thanks again for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye, guys.